What do you do after an EF1 tornado pummels through your hometown?
Start cutting, start stacking and cleaning up and helping out.
Tuesday morning in the normally quiet city of Portland. Residents, business owners, and officials alike grabbed their chainsaws and just started helping out.
My mom called me 5 minutes after, and I came in and you couldn't get down any of these streets, and by 7 o'clock last night, you could drive down every one of them.
Matt Rhea and friends cleared out his parents' home last night, which caught on fire during the storm. And then Tuesday morning, he was out again, hacking away at the fallen limbs that weighed heavy on his sister's front porch.
Real amazing how this community just took care of itself, and we all got together and started cleaning up.
Blocks away at Lauren and Peyton Ferris's home, we find Rhea again, starting the process all over.
I was really scared when I saw the tree fall and she was downstairs. It was scary, really scary.
I just can't believe how quick it was. Like, by the time I got into the basement, it was already done, and it was like a 5, maybe 15 seconds. It was so fast, and everybody said that, like, you'd think that it would be super loud, and it wasn't. It sounded like I thought a limb had fallen on the roof, and then we looked back up and could see the sky through the ceiling.
At least a dozen businesses, 3 churches, and 70 homes were impacted by yesterday's storm. Assessing the damage, the American Red Cross even set up an overnight shelter for displaced families.
We provide food, we provide a place to sleep, comfort as best we can, and this is pretty important to people that need us.
However, no one used the shelter last night because once again, the people of Portland showed their true colors and invited complete strangers into their homes.
They didn't even hesitate. They saw what happened, and they were like, we'll be here as soon as we get up in the morning.
So many people helping out from overnight to this morning. So many volunteers. It's truly amazing. Now, we've seen trees and branches and debris carted off all day. Huge trees taken down by these strong winds up to 100 miles per hour. And let me show you this right here. This is a branch from what we believe is this tree over here. It is stuck into the ground. I am trying to move it, and I've got nothing. I cannot. It's definitely at an angle. I've seen volunteers try to pull it out all morning, and they haven't had any luck. But again, they will rebuild, they will clean up, in this community, well, again, it just brought them all together, and thankfully no one was hurt and no deaths reported from this incident. For now, reporting live in Portland, Megan Bunchman, WZZM 13 News. I'm Megan Bunchman outside the Muskegon Heights Police Headquarters, where I chatted with the police chief earlier this morning to talk about what happened over the weekend that left a little boy just the age of 5 years old wounded with a gunshot wound, and now he is recovering today. That bullet still inside of his body. Now, the police chief says that there's a lot of suspicious things that happened leading up to Saturday's event. He has been told by people and detectives that were canvassing the neighborhood after they heard about that victim being shot that no one heard any shots fired. But then when I canvassed the neighborhood over the weekend, plenty of neighbors said that there was plenty of gunfire being rang out. Friends who were with that little boy when he was shot say that they were caught in the crosshairs, wrong place, wrong time. But now the police chief says that what happened over the weekend, although tragic, actually speaks to a greater issue that's happening here in Muskegon Heights. He is trying to redefine the new normal, and he is encouraging people that if they hear gunshots to call 911. Police have looked back at the records and say that no calls came in that neighborhood during that time. So the police chief is saying that if you are witnessing crimes, the only way to make this neighborhood better is to report it. Good news is, though, that that little boy is going to be okay. That bullet did not hit any bone. Now the greater question: who did it, what happened, and why wasn't it reported? I'm Megan Bunchman outside of police headquarters. Back to you. For many, Mother's Day is filled with roses, candies, brunches out, and warm hugs from little ones. But for some here at the Kent County Jail, Mother's Day is bittersweet.
It's the first Mother's Day I've never been home. That's all. Yeah. We're good.
Emotions drip from the cheeks of incarcerated moms here at the Kent County Jail on Sunday as they greet their family via Skype call.
It's hard that you have to visit your kids through video. You know, it makes it very difficult.
Sharon DeMond, who's serving time for embezzlement, says the biggest punishment for her, missing out on her daughter's lives.
Because you know that you're missing the most precious thing that's important to you, and that's your kids. So it's hard, you know, sucks.
Nearly half of prisoners nationwide are parents, leaving more than 5 million kids without support, putting the onus of keeping the family strong and together on others.
We're kind of staying with our friends because it's cutting back our bills, and then that way I can afford to get groceries and whatever school stuff Sierra might need, or anything like that.
Dumont's daughters, Dana, Cheyenne, and Sierra, visit their mother at least once a week, catching up on major events and sharing the normal peaks and valleys of everyday life.
Talk about her grades and her dad and, the boyfriends and girlfriends, There's a lot of drama for a 14-year-old kid, I'm telling you. Some of the stuff she's told me about, it's funny.
Giving Dumont a sense of normalcy, even if it's only for 40 minutes at a time.
The mothers that are here have it harder, I think, than single women or even the men, because it's not just us we have to worry about. We have to worry about what our kids are doing, how their lives are when we're not there, who's taking care of them. Everyday things that you're used to having that you can't do.
Megan, where exactly are you right now?
Nick, I'm at Pindery Park. It's right across the street from Wyoming Public Safety, and let me tell you, the damage is extensive in this park. Let me show you right here. This tree has been uprooted, literally taking from its roots, and it's probably 12 to 14 feet wide. This thing completely lifted up by those winds that came through from that line of storms that came through around 2:15 earlier today. Take a look at this tree, completely lying across one of the joggers' trails, and I'm not sure if you can see this red metal in the background, but that used to be a pull-up bar for joggers and those using this facility to work out. Completely mangled now. Nothing left of that, and lots of trees uprooted here. Debris scattered throughout the area in very different directions, which says a lot about that storm. Some trees are lying this way, some the opposite direction. Now, the Parks and Rec Department has closed off this area to the public. We were actually just asked to exit this park a little bit as well, because there are plenty of sticks and loose leaves still up in the trees that could fall because they are not attached to anything. Now, I spoke with nearby residents earlier today to talk about what they heard right around 2:15 when that storm came in. They said it was so loud and that rain and wind was going in multiple directions, and that the sound, something they've never heard in their life. Now, the good news is there were no injuries reported so far in this storm.
It was just raining then, and then the
all going in a circle, and if you look around me again, that debris is scattered throughout this park in so many different directions, all going in multiple different directions, all of this debris. So much indicating, again, more of a cyclical movement in that storm when it came through around 2:15 today. Now, the worst hit area that we've seen is basically between 28th Street and Chicago Avenue. Lots of this area, including this park, is closed to the public right now because we have surveyors on the scene assessing the damage and, of course, public safety, trying to make sure that everyone is safe in the storm's aftermath. We're going to see you back here in a little bit. I'm live in Wyoming. Megan Bunchman. Talk to you in a bit.